On this edition of Gameball NFL Endzone, we're going to recap a wild weekend that was Week 5, as well as break down the Chiefs and Jaguars game and ask this question: did the Jaguars lose that game, or did the Kansas City Chiefs just beat the Jaguars? Also, speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, they are among the other team, and that would be the Los Angeles Rams, that are sitting at a 5-0 start to the season. Are these the two best teams in the National Football League? We'll talk about that, as well as give you the top 4 matchups to look out for in Week 6, as well as our predictions. And of course, Mr. Luke Hartnett himself is back in the building to talk about football with us. The three amigos are back together. You already know what time it is. It's Gameball NFL Endzone, and it begins now. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. I'm Marcus Young Genius Jenkins.
It's your boy, Michael Riley.
I'm Luke Hartnett.
All right, we're going to quickly recap a crazy wild week of football, and that would be, Week 5, starting with the Green Bay Packers. And they would fall to the Detroit Lions by a score of 31-23. Obviously, one of the biggest notes in this was the field goal kicker Crosby missing 5 field goals, which could have accounted for 15 points for the Green Bay Packers, and more than likely a different result in this game. But once again, they would fall 23-31. Unfortunately, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, State Farm does not cover field goal misses.
No, they don't. I like that wordplay. All
right, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs would be on top at home of the Jacksonville Jaguars by a score of 30-14, and we'll discuss that game here in just a second. The Philadelphia Eagles would fall by 2 points to the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 23-21, and the Dallas Cowboys would fall to. You might have to ask you guys a question about this one because I got to know this as well. Of course, the controversy with Jason Garrett. The Cowboys would lose 16-19. 4th and 1. Choosing to punt it. Of course, Jason Garrett was quoted as defending that play, saying that the reason for that was because they wanted to put it back in Houston territory. Jerry Jones, not very happy with Jason Garrett because of that, saying that, at this time, it's time to take risks. I just got to ask you guys quickly. We're going to start with you. What would you have done, and what do you think about that call?
I think if the Cowboys will get it turned around, they're going to be out of a coach after Thanksgiving. I think they'll can him on either probably Black Friday. It could be Black Friday Boys and 1 for Dallas, and give him a few extra days, get an interim coach in there, or whatever else, extra prep time. But they basically have between now and Thanksgiving to get things turned around for them, and I don't think they're going to.
I would have went for it. You're at their own 42-yard line. It's not you're at your 42-yard line. You at their 42-yard line, and stats proves itself. 18 of 19 times in the Dak and Ezekiel Elliott era, on 4th down, they're 18-19. That's like 95%. Why did you go for it? Feed the man the ball, y'all would have got the 1st down and make some more plays in field goal. What are you thinking, Dallas Cowboys? And this is why I say it over and I say it again. The Dallas Cowboys are bad luck in the making, because once they get their confidence going, it's that black cat for Pet Cemetery always cursed them, and their head coach Jason Garrett cursed them again from the Black Cemetery. Not Pet Cemetery, excuse me. Not Black Cemetery, Pet Cemetery. So that's why I say the Dallas Cowboys are a bad luck in the making, because that black cat for the Pet Cemetery.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to touch on this, but after they played the Seahawks, there was some video being broke down of just how inept their offense is being ran. I think they got good players on the team. I think Dak Prescott could be one of the upper echelon quarterbacks in the league. He takes way more heat than I think he deserves to. But there's something that showed after the Seahawks game there. Cowboys got the ball 3rd and 9 at their own 21-yard line. They need to get to the 30-yard line for a first down. It's 3rd and 9. They go 4 receivers. They got 2 on the slits. They got 2 in the slots there. Seahawks got both their corners pressed up in man coverage. They got both safeties. If this is the 30-yard line, they got both safeties basically at the 30-yard line. This is back when Earl Thomas, before he got hurt, was one of the safeties in. I believe it was Thomas McDougald. Press coverage, the 2 receivers are pretty much taken out of the play there. The 2 slot receivers both run right towards the 30-yard line where there's a couple of sitting duck safeties and turn around, running basically a hook pattern. The result of the play, Prescott runs out of time, has to scramble, throws incomplete, 4th and 9 punt. Well, I mean, they got to be doing more. They got to have more ingenuity on the offensive side of the ball to really have much of a chance to succeed. And when you're, 3rd and 9, you're running guys right at sitting safeties. That's not going to work. So I don't know who's calling the plays there, who needs to be calling the plays there, but something's got to change.
4th and 1, game 1 alarm. And also, Jason Garrett defended that by saying that play, in particular, 4th and 1, it seemed longer than 4th and 1, is what came out of Garrett's mouth. So, I mean, not really doing much to necessarily defend with that particular comment, but the Cowboys, yeah, they got to find a way. And then another side note, the leading rusher, Mr. Ezekiel Elliott, held in check 54 yards and 2.7 yards per carry. So, great effort by the Houston Texans, but also bad late play calling by the Cowboys. Staying with the first segment, we're going to discuss the Chiefs game further with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did the Jacksonville Jaguars beat themselves, or did the Kansas City Chiefs win that football game? Mike, I'm going to kick this one off to you. What do you think?
It was an Arrowhead, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. The Chiefs did pretty well. They executed on all phases of football to take advantage of the defense. I'm not taking anything away from the Chiefs, but I'm sorry, the Jaguars beat themselves to lose this game. You have one of the best defenses in NFL. Why the hell you play soft zone coverage instead of man coverage? I don't understand that, because when you play soft zone coverage with a single high safety against that offense, you are going to get burnt. When you play a press man coverage, you have extra secondary help. You also have a linebacker help that's considered another safe defensive back, and you have a linebacker that is keeping the quarterback spy and also help with the coverage for the underneath routes, and you have 4 guys rushing. So basically, that's called a 4-1-7 defense. It's basically a dime man coverage, press coverage defense, is where you may not have the best talented to go toe-to-toe with these receivers, but it contains their route running ability. If a guy misses a tackle, another guy cleans it up. And same thing with the other side. You also have another safety help on the top, so you're not really worried about getting beaten deep. If the quarterback can't throw the ball and forces out to run, that is a coverage side. That is a win for a defense. That's how you prepare and beat the Chiefs' offense and the offensive talent-wise and the caliber play calling. That's how you defeat it. Look what the Denver Broncos did to the Chiefs Monday night when they had that 10-point lead until they switched into the soft zone. They pretty much had the Chiefs checked on their heels until they went zone coverage, and that's when they got exposed. You do not play zone coverage against the Chiefs offense. You play man-up coverage, either a dime-based package or a nickel-based package defense to contain that offense. So I'm going to have to say it's the Jacksonville Jaguars that lost this game. Of course, Blake Bortles is Blake Bortles. They need another quarterback. And in my opinion, he's not getting it done. He's like the Ryan Fitzpatrick, but a little bit better. At least he won 2 playoff games. You could say something about that Tony Romo, who won 2 playoff games, but that's another time for another day. So it's all on the Jacksonville Jaguars. If Blake Bortles did not throw that stupid pass that was a pick six, they was merging on to get more points, Then you had the defense created a turnover and make Patrick Mahomes threw the first interception. Now that's the Jacksonville Jaguars defense and that interception, they played press man coverage, forced Patrick Mahomes to throw a bad pass. It was intercepted, and they rushed forward. They did not bring a linebacker on a blitz and all that. That's not their MO. Their MO is man, and you should stick to that. So I'm going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars lost this game. I'm not taking anything away to Kansas City Chiefs, but the Jacksonville Jaguars lost this game.
Would you agree, Luke?
I really don't know what to make about this. I mean, since 1986, this is the 6th time that a team has allowed over 500 yards and still won the game. Chiefs have done 4 of those 6 wins. 4 of those 6 wins, it was the Chiefs allowing 500 yards and still finding a way to win on that. And I'm not going to get into the whole, blitz and man coverage and everything else. I mean, that's you can guess that 6 ways to Sunday. What's going to work, what's not going to. Something that does have to wonder about with the Chiefs here, though, as we get them moving on into next week and then, eventually towards the playoffs, should there be, regular season rematches or whatever else. They didn't have to play against Le'Veon Bell. They didn't have to play against Leonard Fournette. They played the Steelers or the Jaguars in the playoffs, even if it's at home, and even if it's a cold, wet night in Arrowhead, Fournette and Bell's going to make a difference. So just something to think about there. And the point I tried to make about, and we'll touch on this here coming up before long, this Sunday when they're at the Patriots. Patriots got that full deck now. They got Edelman back. They got Josh Gordon in there. They got Sonny Michel finding himself as a rookie. They still got the running back James White going for it. They still got a healthy Tom Brady. So this is going to be like the first real stacked deck, and it's home field for the Patriots too. So I mean, it's going to be a real. I don't want to say. It's the NFL. Every week is a test. The Chiefs have had 5 tests. They played 5 NFL teams. Let's not kid ourselves about that. But this is going to be the tallest of tasks coming up.
I would strongly agree with that one, and we're going to talk about that more, as that will be one of the top 4 matchups that we do talk about later on in the episode. Agree, 100%. With this one, I would say for myself, I think it was a little bit of both, to be honest with you, because if you think about it, Blake Bortles threw 4 picks, including a pick 6. A pick 6, 4 interceptions is not going to get it done for you. Could this be a test that maybe the Chiefs defense has maybe finally arrived? Because let's face it, they have been terrible up into the Jacksonville game. And also another side note, the Kansas City Chiefs scored 30 points. None of those were a passing touchdown. Patrick Mahomes did not throw for a touchdown pass, as well as he threw his first 2 interceptions. I forgot about that. First 2 interceptions of the season. Yeah,
2 more things I want to touch on with the Chiefs here. One, they have been very. They got to be one of the healthiest teams in the league. They haven't had anything close to injuries there. Number 1. Number 2, I watched the Chiefs game and the Seahawks game back to back yesterday. I tell you what, Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson, they got a lot more similarities than I was aware of. Russell Wilson, a little bit better at getting out of the pocket, a little bit more elusiveness. Patrick Mahomes, a little bit bigger arm. But for the most part, those two are there's a lot of interchangeable parts about those two, which I was not aware of until yesterday for whatever reason. But man, they got some similarities.
Good thing or bad thing?
Oh, anytime you got some stuff in comparison with Russell Wilson, that's a good thing.
All right, Kansas City Chiefs.
He's a proven Super Bowl winner. That's a no-brainer franchise quarterback.
Absolutely.
He's worth everything. He's accoladed so far and then some.
All right, Kansas City Chiefs. Kind of a balance there. I think for the most part, we probably both, or all 3 of us agree. It's kind of a mixture of both would be kind of a safe bet for that. Once again, like Luke mentioned, we're going to talk about that later in the podcast. Got a tough task ahead of them with your boys in Foxborough, the New England Patriots. We're going to talk about
They got a home game against the Bengals week after that. So they get to 7-0. You really can't turn out the lights as far as home field.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for the first segment. When we come back, speaking of the Chiefs once again, they are one of 2 teams, the other team being the Los Angeles Rams. Both of these teams sitting at 5-0. But does that necessarily mean that they are, as of right now, the best 2 teams in the National Football League? We'll talk about that when we come back. This is Gameball NFL Endzone, and we'll be back in a minute.
It's only beginning. We're just getting started, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Yes, sir.
What's
happening,
happening,
everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. Now, in our next segment, once again, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams both sitting at 5-0 perfect records. Does that necessarily mean that they're the best teams in the National Football League? Luke, I'm going to swing this one to you. Do you think that these are the top two teams in the league?
I mean, you can make a case either way. I mean, there's the one theory that heavy is the head that wears the crown, which would be the Philadelphia Eagles and New England Patriots. They are one's the reigning Super Bowl champs, the other's reigning conference champs. But then there's the second school of thought that says, you know, what have you done for me lately? And both these teams are 5-0. Rams, their defense has given up 31 and 33 points the last two. No, 31 and 31 points the last two games. They scored 33 yesterday. But they're getting it done on both sides of the ball. I think Jared Goff is leaps and bounds ahead of where I thought he would be at this point. We pretty much touched on the Chiefs, last segment there. So, I mean, I think we're just about a week early on asking this. I can't recall who the LA Rams play at Denver this next coming week. That should be a win for them. I think if the Chiefs go into Foxborough and win, then it's a slam dunk at that point. So it depends. Is it heavy as the head that wears the crown, or is it current record? Just kind of depends on what side of the fence you're on.
Nicely said.
As of right now, I'm going to say they are the best team in the NFL, and their offense is same similarity. They do put up high points, and one of his defense was good, but till injuries occur, both defenses giving up a lot of points, besides yesterday with the Chiefs. But going forward, we'll have to see, are they still going to be the best team in the NFL? Because you got the Kansas City Chiefs late night primetime game on the road in Foxborough. Everything's against the Patriots wall and all that, and everybody's going to be favoring the Chiefs, which the Patriots are favoring the game a little bit, but they're still going to pick the Chiefs, and that's going to give more motivation for the Patriots to win this game. I'll touch on more of that in the later segment. And the Rams, they barely snuck away Seattle.
Yes, they did.
And with that win, at least they went for it in 4th and 1 to compare to what the Dallas Cowboys didn't do and converted and won. And Philadelphia Eagles game, that Minnesota, they went for it on 4th and 1 and lost, but they went for it on 4th and 1 in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. It worked. They won. Coaches like that caliber take risks, like in Jason Garrett, for instance, but we'll touch that on another day. I'm just saying true facts. So,
oddly enough, these two teams play on Monday Night Football, November 19th in Mexico City.
Nice.
So, which I was talking with a friend of mine, the other day about this. We against being in Mexico City, let's say that these two teams, give us Super Bowl 53. That had to be the first time in NFL history that two teams would play twice on both times on a neutral field. No, like has that ever happened before? I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
Because one game would be in Mexico City, there'd be in Atlanta. So I don't recall it ever happening before.
Yeah, so as of right now, they are the two best teams as of right now. But the test is both teams on the road. One is going to Foxborough, the other one's going to Denver. We'll see how it plays out. Because it's going to be big-time games for both of these undefeated teams coming up Sunday. Will they both pass? One of them will pass, or will both fail?
I'm going to say this, and I'm being honest as a Chiefs fan. I don't necessarily think they're one of the best teams in the NFL. I say they have the best offense in the National Football League. I don't necessarily think, because the Chiefs' offense is what won the football games. Now, if the Chiefs' defenses actually woke up like the way they did against the Jacksonville Jaguars, they could be. And that's going to see how they translate. Have they got their confidence, and they need it at the right time going into Foxborough. The Rams, I mean, it's like they say, the ball doesn't lie. They are both 5-0. So, I mean, the case is for these two teams. I agree with you, Luke, to an extent where you talked about maybe we're talking about this a week early. I want to see where Kansas City is at the end of October, because I said they would at least go 3-1. They have the Broncos one more time as well. I can't wait to talk about this matchup with the Patriots. Like, I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. But I think they have the most talented offense. I don't know if they're top two. I would say Kansas City Chiefs, I would actually give them 3, to be honest with you. their best tests have yet to come. I do like the fact that you pointed out that the Steelers didn't have Le'Veon Bell. Fournette wasn't with that, but at the same time, would that still not mean that Bortles would have threw 4 interceptions? There's a lot to discuss. But I'm saying this, I'm a humble Chiefs fan. I love my Chiefs, but I'm gonna say I would say they're number 3, not in the top 2 because that defense. I'm just saying that defense. I'm hoping they finally found their way.
I'm gonna say they are the best scoring offense, and they are the number 1 ranked offense with a suspect defense. So I'm gonna say like that.
All right, and that's gonna conclude the first segment. We are just now getting started right here on Gameball NFL Endzone. Or excuse me, the second segment, but we are just now getting started. When we come back, we're going to break down the top 4 Week 6 matchups for you guys to keep an eye on. And, of course, can't do it without our predictions as well. Of course, Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots, as well as the Chargers, they're going to try to take their undefeated streak into the Cleveland Browns, who are winning football games all of a sudden. Get it out of here. Who would have thought, right? 2 more teams to also talk about. Stick around with us. Gameball NFL Endzone. We'll be back in a minute.
And I'm going to make a bold prediction. You do not want to miss out, so stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
All right, can't wait. Let's get it in. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone. Of course, for the football season never ends, we're going to get into the top 4 matchups for you guys to be on the lookout for in Week 6, starting with one of the undefeateds, like we just talked about, the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns 2-4, the Los Angeles Chargers, taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns actually winning some football games.
Undefeated at home.
Yes. When was the last time you heard about that? It's been a while.
The factory of sadness is the house of pain.
Luke, we definitely got to start with you on this one. What do you like about the matchup with the Chargers and the Browns?
I tell you, I think that Browns is a legit top 5 defense. I mean, at some point, you keep going out there week after week after week playing with the defensive effort. I know the Raiders put 45 on them a few weeks ago, but that doesn't change the other 4 games that they did there. They had the 6 turnovers week 1 against the Steelers. They was right there with the Saints, held them to 21 points. And untraditional 21 points too. There was field goals and missed extra points and 2-point conversions and whatever else. So wasn't a traditional 21 the Saints got on them that day. And I don't believe the Ravens they didn't even score a touchdown this past week against them in a game where the Cleveland kicking game tried. I tell you, if he'd have missed that kick again, the Cleveland Browns would have more ties than a lawyer. I mean, my goodness gracious, they could have legit tied it. They've gone to overtime 3 times and had another couple of games. It was right there on the cusp of it. So, no, I mean that Browns defense is they've drafted well over the years, and including this past year with Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett a year ago. They Jabril Peppers, I think a year before that, or he may have been a 2nd-round pick a year. I can't remember.
He was the 1st round a year before because they had 3 first rounds. And drafted that tight end Njoku at Miami. Yes,
ma'am. Yes, I remember the Njoku pick. Yes, but yeah, they got Baker Mayfield. I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a big Baker fan. I didn't even have him going to my mock draft in the 1st round, which goes to show what I know. But a little bit of animosity for that reason. But no, he's got him going on though. I mean, so credit where credit's due. They're humming.
I have a confession to make before I break down to this matchup, and I'm gonna eat my own crow. I was wrong about the Cleveland Browns, and I'm going to give them credit where credit's due. You did hear from me. If I say I'm wrong, I am wrong. I am jumping on board with the Cleveland Browns bandwagon. They finally might got it right at the quarterback spot. I was hard and all on them about it. I gave them a bad grade, but it turns out to me they're proving me wrong. And that Denzel Ward pick is starting to pay off. He's playing some good ball. Offenses started clicking well. Defenses started clicking well. It's just the kicker. Right now, They should be 4-1 and be the AFC North Division leaders. But they still one game away from a division with a 2-2-1 record. Think about it. They could actually be in the lead for a division. They already beat Baltimore. They was as close to beating Pittsburgh. And they could beat Cincinnati. So I'm just hyped on the Cleveland Browns train. And the Los Angeles Chargers, they started playing much better offensively. And defense, they started playing much better. But it still have its moments. But they'll get Bosa back soon. But before you know it, so we'll have to see how this game plays out. It's going to be who has the ball last and which kicker can kick the field goal to win the game. I'm just saying, I ain't never seen no kicker disease in my life to where kickers is missing field goals left and right, especially chip shots, especially 5 field goals in one game to the Packers. We'll have another subject of another day. It's just a kicker disease going
Graham
on.
Gano didn't miss no field goal, though.
He sure did.
63 to beat the Giants. I guess you got to balance the pendulum, though, right?
Something like that, man. I'm telling you. This matchup, man, is definitely interesting. And once again, it's just like, it just shows you how weird this season has been. The teams that are struggling don't normally struggle. The Browns are relevant this season. I don't know, there's something going on in the waters nationwide. But that brings us to Browns and Chargers. We're going to find out who wins that game on Sunday. 3 wins maybe for the Browns. We'll find out. The second matchup, correction, now we're talking about the Rams and their 5-0. Taking on the Denver Broncos, losers of 2 straight. They lost also on Sunday. So can the Rams remain undefeated and defeat the Broncos, or the Broncos going to be the team to actually bounce back? Mike, we'll start with you. How would you break down this matchup?
This could get tricky, and this could be a trap game for the Los Angeles Rams. We all know Denver is one of the top 5 teams, tougher places to play in the NFL, especially with the altitude and how it affects other players. Let's not forget that. And when at home, Denver is at their best. When at the road, they're at their worst. As we noticed yesterday, they lost to the Jets on the road. The Jets of all teams, and give up 215 yards to one dude and rushing. Ooh, that's got to be a bad taste of somebody's mouth on defense. And it's going to be hell week for Denver. Offensively, defensively, it's going to be hell week. And it might be the coach's job on the line. He might get fired if he doesn't start producing more wins. I'm just saying. So the defense has to right their wrongs and get back to being the no-fly zone defense. And the offense, I questioned the offensive line a little bit in the quarterback play. And I started to notice why Case Keenum wasn't resigned over Kirk Cousins. Is starting to show that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Case Keenum, and Minnesota is starting to prove people right and paying them all that money. So if they can get their offense reasonable, they have a shot.
All right.
Denver quit yet. They quit against the Jets. When Chris Ivory had the extended touchdown run there, you see the defenders are going maybe 25% tops. They just absolutely quit. But the Jets, not to let us down, did one of the most Jet things ever again yesterday. They set a franchise record for a single interception return, did not score a touchdown. Caught at the 1-yard line. Only the Jets. Don't ever change, Jets. Don't ever change. Shout out to Nathan Shepard getting it done on the defensive line for him, though. Fort Hays State. # Roy Tigers.
Nice. All right, shout out to Fort Hays State. Once again, the Rams taking an undefeated streak. Can they be 6-0? Will the Broncos drop 3 straight? Or will they find a way to get it together and get a huge win against the Rams? Your favorite team coming up, Mike? The Dallas Cowboys going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Of course, fresh off a loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Dallas Cowboys, controversial loss over the weekend. Mike, I'm going to swing this one to you first. What do you like about this matchup?
The Jacksonville Jaguars will have a bad taste in the mouth going to the Sunday's game, because that was not the Jaguars defense that I saw Sunday and that road loss against Kansas City. I think they got too cute of seeing what can we do blitzes wise. They rarely blitz. They just have the fourth best defensive line. They just go a 4-man pressure and drop zone and coverage and use their athletic linebackers either to follow the quarterback and all that. So I think Jacksonville will get back to basics on defense. I'm not worried about the defense. It's the offense and Blake Bortles. Luke alluded to earlier, they didn't have Leonard Fournette, and the question on it is health. He hasn't been really fully healthy his first 2 years in the NFL. Then is Blake Bortles is going to be that playmaker. Which Blake Bortles are you going to see? You're going to see the Blake Bortles for the first 2 games of the season, or you're going to see Blake Bortles the last 2 games of the season? We'll have to find out and see. I don't know. So it comes down to which offense and which Blake Bortles are you going to get for the Jaguars to win. Now, the Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett has to be aggressive with the play calling. If he's not aggressive, you can kiss the game goodbye because Jacksonville got a bad taste in their mouth. And you're going to have to rely on Dak Prescott more to win your games because the running game is not going to be as effective, and they still don't have their full offensive line intact due to injuries and due to center who has the lymphoma going on. We wish you the best. Hopefully recover soon. So they're hurt right now offensively. They don't have all their offensive line. The running game is suspect, and they don't have no receivers. So that in plays the favor of Jacksonville Jaguars. So they have to figure it out.
All right, Cowboys and Jaguars. Luke, what do you like about this matchup?
I mean, it's going to be a defensive. Should be. I mean, as bad as the Cowboys' offense have been this year, you look at the defensive side of the ball. They only gave up 16 to Carolina week 1. Seattle put 23 on them. Houston needed 5 quarters to get 19 on them yesterday. They put together an absolute masterpiece against the Giants week 2. Very, very good, Cowboys defense there, spearheaded by none other than former Boise State linebacker Leighton Vander Esch, who they spent with their first-round selection on, which warranted a triple F minus for Mike in the draft grades. So just throwing it out there. I couldn't help it on the game last night. Vander Esch is flying around sideline to sideline. He's an absolute gem for him. I want to give him his props where it's due. They're getting it done defensively. I think Seattle put them away by a couple of touchdowns, but for the most part, they kind of got away with it against the Lions a few weeks ago. Held them to 24 points. The Cowboy defense is giving them at least a puncher's chance. At least they're not getting blown out. At least they haven't quit. Their execution on offense is just atrocious, though. So as I mentioned earlier with the 3rd and 9 example against Seattle a few weeks ago. So going to be a defensive struggle, but that's just how Jacksonville likes it.
All right, Jacksonville, Dallas, both teams looking to bounce back from Week 5 losses. We'll see who takes this one as we come up in our predictions period here in just a moment. But before we do so, the matchup we've been waiting to talk about, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New England Patriots. Mike, talk about your boys taking on the Chiefs.
It could get interesting. It's going to be a dogfight. It might be high scoring. I don't know. But what the Patriots are going to do, and this is the advantage Patriots, they play Thursday, so they get extra 3 days rest. So that helps. They also got Julian Edelman back from that suspension. Big help. And Josh Gordon is starting to come along in this offense, especially that big touchdown cast to have Brady's 500 touchdown of his career, 500 TD passes. And for Josh Gordon, everything that he went through to have that catch for 500 touchdown passes from Tom Brady, that's like resurrection itself. I don't know how this is scripted, but if he stays on the right path and the Patriots keep him right, this is what the Patriots did when they traded him. They put his locker next to Tom Brady. That's the smartest things you can do, and he's in a better place than Cleveland. Cleveland did what they could do to help him out. Let's not forget that. And so they traded him to the Patriots for a 5th-round pick. That's nothing for the Patriots. That's like chump change. That's like 2 pennies. Here, take a 5th round something to get a player. And so far, he is paying dividends for his short time there. And you also got the rookie running back, Shoney Michel, who is just balling out of his mind. The last 2 games, he's rushed over 200 yards. 112 yards to the win on the Dolphins, and 98 yards, 2 yards shy of 100, which still makes it 100. He had 98 rushing yards against the Colts. I mean, he is a good runner. He's starting to get his feet wet more. He starts showing the explosiveness, and you start seeing his violent running skills. And he's an excellent pass catcher as well. He is a versatile running back. And James White's, that boy is bad. I mean, he's making plays out of the passing game, running game. And their defense to start playing a lot better. The first 2 weeks of the season, yeah, it was atrocious. Let's just say that. And the week that they lost to the Detroit Lions, but Belichick figured out a way to get it going. Like I was saying before, this is Belichick's preseason in September. Once mid-October, November gone, history repeats itself. They are the best defense when it's mid-October to November to December. And also, they're playing good ball, and they don't beat themselves. They're not the athletic defense, but they beat you scheme-wise, and Belichick is the best at doing that. That's why he's one of the greatest coaches in the NFL. For the Chiefs, they have to execute on all phases of football, offense, defense, and special teams to win this game, because if you slip up, the Patriots will make you pay. This ain't Ben Roethlisberger without Le'Veon Bell. This ain't Blake Bortles, and he doesn't have Leonard Fournette. Mm-hmm. This ain't Phillip Rivers in the San Diego Chargers offense. This ain't San Francisco offense. This is the Patriots offense you're dealing with. Even despite what the record they have, 3-2, they still gonna beat the New England Patriots. So the Chiefs executing plays is a key, especially for their defense, because the Patriots, their offense, they do not run the same play every week. It's different plays based on your personnel. And Tom Brady does not hold the ball too long. He'll look at it, he'll fake look and get rid of it, and he's effective. And with Julian Edelman coming back, that takes pressure off of Gronk. So if you double up Gronk, you'll have Edelman, you have the 2 running backs coming out of the backfield, and you got Josh Gordon. So this offense can be deadly now with Edelman back.
All right, Luke, what do you think about this matchup with the Chiefs and Patriots?
Mike mentioned the Thursday game that the Patriots played, so they basically have a week and a half where the Chiefs had the standard week. But the Patriots, that game against the Colts was also a home game for them, so they get back-to-back home games with an extended week. Chiefs are coming off a weather game. Granted, it was at home, but it was still a weather game against the league's number 1 defense. So, they lost a few guys, I believe, to some concussion protocol. I think everyone's going to be expected to play, but Chiefs are going to be near as 100% as the Patriots will. I like how Mike, you touched on the special teams there. I think the Chiefs' best. You mentioned Mike. You made a lot of good points. The whole Belichick game playing and everything else there. I think what the Chiefs would try to do, and consequently the Patriots going the other way. Maybe try to run the ball. Maybe get Kareem Hunt going, win that time of possession, keep Brady on the sideline. Number 1. Number 2, you mentioned special teams. Tyreek Hill is due. He's due to break. I know he doesn't run kicks back anymore. He's just a punt guy now. But he's due. They get some special teams. They even get a special teams player too. I like the Chiefs' chances. They got to be able to control the clock, get a special teams play to win though.
All right, I like both analysis from both of you guys, which takes us to the world famous part of the podcast, and that is the predictions. Starting with the Chargers and the Browns. Luke, I'm assuming this one to you first. Who do you like?
I think it's going to be a 17-17 tie because of the Browns involved, and I really don't think so. I think the Browns win in overtime though, 20-17. They keep the overtime theme going. So they're at home. It's going to go OT again. It might finish in a tie. We should get bonus points for correctly picking the tie if it happens, by the way. But no, Browns win in overtime 20-17. It's because it's the Browns. It's at home. Need I say more?
I told you I had a bold prediction. Cleveland Browns will win this game, and the Cleveland Browns will win the AFC North Division, and they will make the playoffs this year. Yes, I said it. The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns will win the AFC North Division. They will make the playoffs, And long as the kickers keep kicking field goals, barely win, I'm rolling with the Browns. Cleveland Browns will win a close one, 24-17. They do not go to overtime this time. They will figure out a way to get it done, and they will beat the Chargers. Cleveland Browns will win the AFC North Division. You heard it from me.
I'm going to make fun of this matchup, actually. Not really make fun of it. But this kind of goes towards the Cleveland Browns. It makes me wonder if they actually sat and watched that movie. Have y'all ever watched that movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner? It makes me wonder if they really took notes off of that and really started to like draft their team and build it based off of that movie, honestly. And you see,
got my favorite actor, Dennis Leary, in it.
And it did. Yes, he was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns in that movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Kevin Costner was.
No, he was the GM.
General manager, yeah. Excuse me. My bad.
But at the end of the day, they were both in that movie. So we both got that. It's weird to even talk about, like I said, the Browns and winning. But I like their chances against the Chargers. They have a talented offense. Defense, they do have special players. The Chargers, to me, they're not what they used to be. Phillip Rivers, he can still be great at times, but he's not consistent like he once was. I think they'll find a way to make a big win at home. I think they will get win number 3, which will make them, 3-2-1.
2-1.
Or excuse me, 2-1. When's the last time?
3-2-1.
3-2-1. I think they'll pull out their third win of the season. It's going to be an ugly game. I'm going to say it's going to be 17-14. I think they'll win it off of a last-minute field goal. Second matchup, one of the undefeated teams, the Los Angeles Rams and Denver Broncos. Luke, I got to kick this one to you first, man. Who you got?
Rams by a country mile. Like I mentioned, Denver against the Jets, they quit. Rams got a 34-0 win over the Cardinals earlier this year. They'll 31-10 over the Broncos. I don't have much to say about this game. It's the best team in the league versus the team that quit.
Wow. Blowout for the third straight loss.
Man, that should be the fourth straight loss.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right. Fourth straight loss.
Because they lost to the Ravens before they lost to the Chiefs, before they lost to the Jets.
Absolutely right.
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm gonna do it. I'm going with jury of my conviction under this pit. I'm going upset alert. I'm going with the Denver Broncos at home. I said it. I just feel like that bad taste in the mouth, and Von Miller's gonna show him and play along with the rookie Nick Chubb. I think they're gonna mix up coverages to get Goff our rhythm. And I just think the Denver Broncos will do enough, especially they're at home. If they was at the Rams, it would be different, but they're at home and the altitude plays a part of it. It doesn't matter if you're high scoring offense and all that. That altitude still gets you. And it's going to be close, but I think that the Broncos will do enough on a late field goal to win by 2 points. So I'm going to say 25-22, Denver Broncos upsets the Los Angeles Rams at Mile High Stadium at home. I said it. If they lose, I will man up, but I'm going to Broncos.
I'm kind of torn between this one, but the Broncos to me right now on both sides of football look very dysfunctional. They look very dysfunctional. I mean, yes, they have Vaughn on defense, but they seem to be out of it this year. Like you said, they did quit against the Jets. I mean, I just don't think I give them a chance. I think it will be close, but I think they're going to drop 5 straight. I got the Rams. I think they're going to win this one by a score of 28-21. The Rams will be 6-0. Interesting matchup. Luke, going to start with you. Jaguars and Cowboys. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this one. I just think they're a little bit better offensively. I think they're a lot better offensively than the Cowboys are. You said about 28, 29 better, other teams better, that much better than the Cowboys on the offensive side of the ball. The Cowboys, their defense will do what they got to do to keep it close again. I just think the Jaguars are a top-to-bottom better team. Hard to fathom Bortles playing that poorly 2 weeks in a row, especially when they're going to be, if it's a weather game and Dallas is going to have the roof closed anyway. So, I mean, it's basically playing in a dome. 24-17 Jaguars for the win.
I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. I do not believe in anemic offense in the Dallas Cowboys. They will continue to be a bad luck in the making, and the black cat from the Pet Sematary movie will continue to come out and curse them. So it will curse them ugly. to get a blown out loss. So I'm picking the Jacksonville Jaguars to get a bounce back win. They'll fix their issues on offense and defense. I'm going to score of 31-14, Jacksonville on the road over the Dallas Cowboys.
I agree with the both of you. I think the Jaguars defense will wake back up. I think they will be present for this game. The Cowboys, I don't know, they're starting to me to show signs of going backwards like they normally do, going towards the midway point. Prescott can't have 2 interceptions like he had last Sunday. Ezekiel Elliott has to get it together. He has to get more than 54 yards, and he dang sure has to get more than a little over 2.5 yards per attempt in order to win this game. I think the Jaguars, I think they're the better team between these two, honestly. I think they will find a way to contain the run again, and I think that would be the most important part. You have the leading rusher in Ezekiel Elliott. I think they will find a way to keep him in check for the second week in a row. I think the Jaguars, I expect them to win this one. I'm going to give them 28-14 over the Cowboys. And the final matchup, we're going to send this one to you first, Luke. The Chiefs and the Patriots, who do you got?
Yeah, I think it's a statement game for the Patriots. They have had a week and a half to get ready for this game with no travel in between. Going to be a night game at Foxborough. I understand the Chiefs went there for a night game in Week 1 last year. Statement game for the Patriots, though, because even if few things. I think the Patriots are going to win the game. I still think the Chiefs are going to finish with a better record than the Patriots do overall. But when I mean it's a statement game, they're going to let the Chiefs know that even if there's a playoff rematch, even if it's a hood, Patriots are going to win that game too. So I think we're going to see Patriots play their best game of the year to date. Maybe not quite as good as against the Dolphins. To be fair, I think the Dolphins may look a lot better than what they really are, though, too. But no, I think they play a great game on both sides of the ball. I got the Patriots winning 30-20 in this one. Mike touched on just about everything there, from Edelman to Gordon to the week and a half off to no travel to back-to-back home games to the way Belichick schemes to the way they're getting Sonny Michel going. James White's a feature back there for a while now. Defensively, he's seen it all. Belichick, he's defended offenses like this before. He's coached against Andy Reid before. Beat Andy Reid Super Bowl 39 for a championship.
And also against the Colts in the Peyton Manning days.
There you go. So this is nothing new for them. Patriots 30-20.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots on this one because last year opening week was an ugly loss to the Chiefs. The Chiefs passed and ran all over them, and they have the back of their mind and in their heads. They're gonna feel disrespected. And this is where the Patriots are going to play their best ball. Is where their back's against the wall. I just think that Belichick is not going to do too much blitzing. He's going to play press man coverage, what I said earlier, the 4-1-7, finish it out, and have the linebackers cover the tight ends and underneath routes. Also follow a bit of the quarterback spot, as I was saying. And Tom Brady got his favorite target back. Julian Edelman will expose that middle part, get Gronk going, and get Josh Gordon going. And I don't think the Chiefs' running game will be a factor as the Patriots' running game. So I'm going to say a close one. The Patriots win on a late touchdown, 30-23.
This is basically student versus pupil. This is Mahomes versus Brady. This is him this is basically his opportunity to get a true legitimate education against arguably the greatest quarterback who ever put on a uniform. I think it really comes down to which defense plays better. Obviously, you have to have Patrick Mahomes can't not have throwing touchdowns and expect to win. I don't see them putting up points without throwing passing touchdowns. I still think they have the best offense in the National Football League. It's really going to come down to who scores. To tell you the truth, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, to be 100% honest with you. I really don't think that there's a defense in the National Football League that can stop the Chiefs from scoring. It's going to be more about who puts up points at the last minute. I really think that this is going to come down to a last-minute drive. Part of me wants to pick the Patriots because, let's be honest, I would pick Tom Brady with the game on the line against any team in the NFL, and that does include my Chiefs, just because it's Tom Brady. Let's be 100% honest about that. My heart really does want to tell me the Patriots, but I'm going to ride till the wheels fall off. I'm going to say the Patriots will go in the Foxborough because of that speed. That's speed in Watkins. That's speed in Tyreek
You mean the
Hill.
Chiefs?
I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm going to say they're going to find a way to squeak this one out. I say 27-24. They will improve to 6-0 before facing off once again.
Yeah, even though the Chiefs play on a grass field, I think the fake stuff in New England could help to their advantage.
Interesting fact. All right, 2 Chiefs, 2 Patriots. That's going to do it for this edition of Gameball NFL Endzone.
Social media, Facebook, Gameball College Kickoff / Gameball NFL Endzone. Email us, gck.gnfle@gmail.com. Get on our Instagram page, GCK_GNFLE. Same thing as Twitter, as our official page. And you can follow me, your boy Mike, on Twitter at Gameball, capitalized _Mike, NYKE. You can also shop your clothing gear at our clothing line website at tokendesignstopeka.com. That's token, TOKAN, designstopeka.com/gameball. Like, subscribe, share, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page at gck.gnfletv. That's our YouTube. I'm going to pass it on to you.
All right. Always, you can find me on Facebook, Marcus Jovel, ENT Jenkins. Also, In Construction is the official business page for Jovel Entertainment. We'll have content like this, Gameball, NFL Endzone, and College Kickoff, music, and more. Be on the lookout for that and be ready to hit that like. Find me on Twitter and Instagram as well. My Instagram for the whole team, Jovel Entertainment, is also an official page as well. Follow us on there at Jovel ENT. Follow all of us because, of course, these two brothers, this dream wouldn't even happen without these guys as well. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jovel ENT.
I didn't really get much of a chance to touch on it this episode. The college game ball episode we did. Starting a new job in Kansas City next week. But so even though my podcast appearances will be limited, at least in the immediate future, so we got social media for Facebook, Luke Hartnett. That's HARTNETT, similar to the actor Josh Hartnett, spelled the same way. Twitter, Luke Hartnett 2.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Gameball NFL Endzone. And once again, for everyone that supported us since the first episode, we can't do this without you. Thank you to our sponsors as well, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace and have a good night.